गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स। ट्रैफिक को और बारिश को लांघते हुए आज इतनी सुबह सुबह आप यहाँ पहुँचे और मैं भी पहुँची, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि जैसे मैंने बहुत सारे पोकेमॉन्स पकड़ लिए हैं एक साथ। थैंक यू वेरी मच, यू हैव बीन अ वंडरफुल ऑडियंस। आई मीन इट वाज रियली लवली टू लुक एट द हाउसफुल ऑडियंस ऑफ राइटर्स यस्टरडे। और ऐसा लगा कि हमने जितनी भी मेहनत की है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वो उसका सार्थक हो गया एकदम टोटली। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग सो कोऑपरेटिव विथ आवर वॉलंटियर्स। कल थोड़ा खाना मुझे लगता है लेट आया और चाय और नाश्ते की कतारें भी बहुत लंबी थी, आज भी होने वाली हैं, क्योंकि दिक्कत यह है बाहर बारिश है तो वी कैन नॉट रियली यूज़ द कोर्टयार्ड दैट दे हैव, सो वील हैव टू मेक डू विद दिस आई गेस। नाउ अबाउट द सेशन which is a kind of a top-up session which we added at 11th hour, because let's face it, ये लंबे लंबे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स और इतने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड ख़त्म ही न होने वाले सेंटेंसेस देख के हम लोग या तो 50s या 60s की मीना कुमारी बन जाते हैं कि यहाँ पे पर्दे हिल रहे हैं और हम लोग रो रहे हैं, या तो फिर 80s के धर्मेंद्र और मिथुन, पाप को जला के राख कर दूंगा जल्लाद। लेकिन ये दोनों एटीट्यूड्स हेल्दी नहीं हैं, क्योंकि प्रोफेशनलिज्म इस फील्ड में जो बढ़ रहा है वो बढ़ते ही रहेगा और हम लोग हमेशा लॉगर हेड्स में नहीं रह सकते। वील हैव टू मेक पीस, वील हैव टू मेक फ्रेंड्स विद दीज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, वील हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वेयर वी स्टैंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू आस्किंग मनी, आस्किंग रेम्यूनरेशंस, व्हेन इट कम्स टू the producers, how you're dealing with them, what are their point of views, where are they coming from. Sometimes the causes feel very insulting कि ये क्या हो रहा है, लेकिन हो सकता है कि उनकी भी कोई एक वजह हो वहाँ लिखने की। लेकिन ये जो हमारा पाप को जला के राख कर दूंगा और मीना कुमारी और जल्लाद वाला एटीट्यूड है वो चेंज होना है। और इसीलिए जब अंजुम जी और विनोद जी ने देखा कि 800 लगभग 700 या 800 की तादाद में राइटर्स को हम इकट्ठा एक रूफ के अंडर पाने जाने वाले हैं, तो बेहतर है कि एक टॉपअप सेशन किया जाए और हम लोग स्पेसिफिकली बात करें लीगल राइट्स के बारे में, कॉपीराइट्स के बारे में, एजेंसीज़ के बारे में कि क्या सिर्फ एक्टर्स को और म्यूजिशियंस को हैंडल करने वाली एजेंसीज होती हैं, कैन वी हैव समथिंग लाइक दैट फॉर राइटर्स। So this is going to be a really enriching session. I welcome Mr. Anjum Rajabali and Mr. Vinod Ranganath. Please come up on the stage and take charge.
This is a deliberate ploy. Okay, before we kick it off in right earnest, and there are some dense issues which to be discussed, and I hope some of you will take some notes. I need to just mention a couple of things from me to you. See, yesterday's session which we had in the evening, which was a good thing that they came. It was a breakthrough. For the first time, producers or plus big studio heads came to a scriptwriting platform, which is a good thing. We intended it for it to be an icebreaker session, कि भैया पहली बार ये हो रहा है, which is a good thing. It was also necessary to open up a channel of communication with them, yes, which I think we fairly succeeded in. However, we may not have gone the distance, I understand that, because publicly there are certain things which people don't necessarily would like to discuss, acknowledge. At least the first time, they were nervous, there was a bit of defensiveness which tends to come in, which is also understandable at a human level. But it will be, I promise you, first in a series of such dialogues. So it is important that the writer, the director and the producer get together and have conversations here and engage with all you people. Because these are the three leaders actually of the project. If they are in sync, if there is mutual trust between them, if they share a certain vision, even if the vision is led by the writer or the producer or the director, it doesn't matter. But if this team jo hota hai, we need to be at the same level as the other two. And that has been the aim of the Scriptwriters Association. However, that is just one side of the story. How we deal with producers, how do producers respond to us, what are these contracts about, what is it that we need to be careful about, वो सारी बातें अभी होंगी। लेकिन एक बात जो मैं बिल्कुल बहुत दबाव के साथ कहना चाहता हूँ, and take it absolutely in the right spirit in which I am saying it to all you people. And I speak as a member of your union, and there is no doubt that this union deeply cares for you, and that care and that concern has grown with time. So there is no doubt that all of us who form the steering committee of the union, one of my colleagues you will meet just now, and the others you are aware of, all of us have come together with one singular purpose, that we need to ensure that the status of screenwriting and screenwriters in this country goes up. Yes. But keeping that in mind, there is one big stumbling block which I want to bring home to you. And I'm putting it straight to you, that we need to concentrate on the quality of our writing. It is a big issue. It is a bigger stumbling block than a lot of you care to acknowledge. I read in the region of around 70 to 100 scripts a year. मतलब हर 4 दिन लगभग औसत है कि मैं एक स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ रहा था पिछले साल में. Given the number of things that I've been involved in. The statistic is 2 out of those. 2 is what I feel कि हाँ, यहाँ कुछ बात है. And when I read with a magnifying glass. मतलब कि कहीं भी कुछ अगर एक spark नजर आए, एक flash नजर आए, तो you know कि ये quality जो है, लेखक जो है, इसके काबिल है. अब all you have to do is encourage him to bring the rest of the thing to that level, because वो लिख तो सकता है. It's that which I find hard sometimes to look at. We need to concentrate on that. We send our work out prematurely. I'm sure Tara, you agree with this. Yeah. Prematurely we send it out. एक ड्राफ्ट बनाने ही बना कि हम उत्सुक हो जाते हैं कि नहीं यार ये प्रोड्यूसर को दे, देखो सर वो तो कोई ले ही नहीं रहा, नई कहानी तो पढ़ते नहीं. अरे नई कहानी सब पढ़ते हैं. You want कि there should be script readers with the studio houses. I'm telling you, there are script readers. And they are looking for more script readers also. I get those requests. So they seem to be serious about it, because this one thing they have realized कि अगर अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट उनके पास नहीं हो तो मतलब मरते मर जाएंगे, वो अच्छी फिल्म नहीं बना सकते. अच्छे स्क्रिप्ट से बुरी फिल्म बन सकती है, लेकिन अच्छी फिल्म बुरी स्क्रिप्ट से कभी नहीं बन सकती. तो मतलब a script is an essential criteria for their profit, for their business. जो सिद्धार्थ बात कर रहे थे या रोनी बात कर रहे थे, रितेश, कि without that they can't do it. So it all depends upon us. This is where our power, if you're looking for that, and I don't mean power as in something which you abuse, but power is something which you use in a sensible way. That power, that authority, that leverage, that bargaining position comes from the quality of your work. Let us concentrate on that. That is the key with which you open all these doors. Today we are standing outside the door, a lot of us, and feeling very frustrated. And I am putting it to you, look at your work again. So take it from me straight, and take it in the right spirit. The idea is not to discourage you, but to encourage you. Okay, let us do that. That's the only way. Every single senior successful writer will tell you that. Most of them. Some of them, of course, come by fluke. But that is just an exception. I was extraordinarily lucky in my career. You won't be. Because I came at a time when there were very few writers. Today, I announce a fellowship. There are 500 scripts which I get. If you're not doing good work, somebody else will be doing. So if you want to stand out amidst the hundreds of scripts which are being written in India, which is a good thing and an unfortunate thing for you, because that is competition, then you make sure that your script shines like gold. Unless you polish your gold, do not step into the market. It takes 6 months, it takes a year, it takes 2 years, I don't care. Nobody is going to ask you कि कितना जल्दी तुमने काम किया. They will see how well you did it. That is how history will remember you. कोई नहीं बोल रहा 3 महीने में स्क्रिप्ट लिख दिया तो क्या तो कोई माफ नहीं करेगा तुम्हारी क्वालिटी को. So I'm saying it's very important. None of these sessions, the legal session, the session with the producer, this conference, workshop, seminars, the union, nothing is of any value unless and until we get quality work from you people. That is the only thing which will bring about a change. Rest of the things, I guarantee you will follow. तुम्हारी स्क्रिप्ट अच्छी होगी, 2 लोग तुम्हारे पीछे पढ़ रहे होंगे, and then when you want to negotiate, we have our lawyers, we have our agents, they will make the way for you. But if you don't have a strong product, there is nothing they can do. There is nothing anyone can do, nothing I can do. Much as our heart bleeds for you. अब समझ रहे हैं, this is very important. Let's start with that. When you go back from here, those of you who are serious about this, treat it with utter utter critical sort of seriousness. Show it around to 3, 4, 5 people. Do whatever you have to do. I cannot emphasize this enough, and I'm sorry to sound repetitive, but this is a recurring problem that we are facing in this country. We have an eager audience out there. Flop पे flop picture बन रही है, लेकिन फिर भी advance booking बढ़िया होते हैं. Swara was saying a film like Nil Bate Sannata, it found an audience. पैसों की बात से अगर measure करना हो तो 2 करोड़ की फिल्म में 12 करोड़ उठा के चली गई. Satellite came chasing after them for 2 crore. मतलब ये numbers are to show you that there is an accept in the market, absolutely responds. Let us aim for that. Okay. Then by all means, whatever the roadblocks are there, the union is absolutely there to help you. With a weak product, there is nothing we can do. Are we on the same page on this one? Yes. Yeah? Let's do that first. Okay. Now, let me do something pleasurable. No, not that this was not pleasurable, but still. Hey, Rajat, thanks Rajat Kapoor. My job to embarrass. Thanks for coming. Look, he's there for the next session, but see the eagerness of our guests who are seniors, who want to come and engage. And he's just come back from America yesterday, no? Yesterday he came back from America. He's jet lagged, तो session में सो जाए तो जरा कोई provocative सवाल पूछ लेना, तो उठ जाए. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to invite my colleague who's been a senior FWA activist. Most of you are familiar with him. Those of you who, few of you who may not be, this gentleman has been in the FWA, leading from the front for the last 8 years, you know? Yeah, for the last 8 years, okay? Shoulder to shoulder, we worked together. He's involved in copyright matters, he's involved in drafting the MBC, minimum basic contract for television writers. He's been doing a lot of extremely sincere and energetic work to ensure that his focus being, of course, TV writers, the TV writers ka jo lot hai, wo sudhre. Okay, so that is an FWA program, right? TV writers, film writers, and film lyricists. Okay. So he heads, in a way, that particular initiative along with his colleagues now. So, friends, please allow me to welcome Mr. Vinod Ramana to the stage. Okay, 2 guests, okay, who have actually been very kind to us, to have come at such short notice on a working day. Okay, both of them are very successful professionals in their own right, and both of them are very useful. The job that they do is very useful for people like us. So I would like to tap into their knowledge, their experience, their insight, so that it's of use to you. First and foremost, both of them are friends, so let me mention my first young friend, who was a pioneer in setting up a talent management agency in this country. And when we had a discussion way back in 2006, he had come for the first conference. He wants to do something like that, and we discussed again, and I said, you have to concentrate on scriptwriters, and you have to concentrate on the younger, newer scriptwriters, because veterans and experienced people like us do not need somebody to represent us. I can pick up the phone and speak to the producer and hassle it out with him. But younger people need that representation. So he wanted to set up an agency which manages the careers of scriptwriters. And in a very short period of like 2 or 3 years, they've made pretty good strides. They have a large clientele, and it is a measure of the good work and the sort of promising work that they have been doing. He's gathered a lot of experience. He and his partner, they have been knocking on every door of every studio. I think they know just about everybody in the production sector, I would imagine, who's significant enough for us. So without further ado, friends, let me welcome our friend from Tulsi Picture, Tulsi now, it's just called Tulsi. It's the Screenwriters Management Agency, Datta Dave. And I'm calling upon a person whose profession we all dread, which is law. The last thing that a writer wants to deal with, the last person, is a lawyer. Unfortunately, we are in a position where all of us will have to become quasi-lawyers ourselves. We will have to understand some basic principles of the law to know what our legal rights are. Okay. So, FWA engaged our young friend, Mr. Sushruth Desai, who was one of the brightest sparks the High Court of Bombay, and who has begun to specialize a few years ago in IP, intellectual property, copyright, which is of great relevance to us. So, in fact, he has a continuing arrangement with FWA where he offers, by his own accord, subsidized, so to say, sorry to use the word, subsidized or concessional services to our members. And he is busy, but he is very sharp, and he is approachable and accessible, and he has a wealth of knowledge and experience in fighting cases, drafting contracts, negotiating on behalf of FWA members. So rich in experience, which I want to tap just now. Friends, welcome Sushruth Desai. Me? Yeah, I don't mind. Okay, here we go. I think I am able to anticipate your basic questions, your primary questions. So I'm going to start off with that. Datta, towards you first. Okay, since you have been dealing with new writers, you have been helping them to sort of kickstart their careers. You have been noticing the certain common mistakes that they make when they decide to build a screenwriting career. There are certain words of caution which I'm sure you do have, and some amount of guidance in how to actually chart out step by step a career or a path for somebody who says that he wants to become a professional screenwriter. Okay, so let's start with the first question. The person comes to you and says, I have a script, but I don't know anybody. How do I go about it? How would you go about it?
So, thanks for allowing us to be here, Anjum. I think that the first thing I think Anjum really hit on in his opening comments, which is really focus on the quality of your script. I think that it's a big problem in the industry, and we also get a lot of scripts, and unfortunately, very few of them are actually scripts that we feel that we can represent, or the writing is at a level that we actually work with the talent. So I think the first most important thing is to focus on your craft above all. It's more important than networking. It's more important than knowing how to do a good narration. In fact, there are tremendous narrators in this business who are not necessarily the best writers. And there are terrible narrators who might be phenomenal writers. So I think the most important thing is focus on your craft first. Typically, studios, producers, agents like us are all very, very happy to get a good script. And I think that when we receive a good script, at least at Tulsi, we look at it from the perspective of, is the story, the script itself, something that could and should be made, based on a variety of factors, including the commercial feasibility of the project. But secondly, we also look at maybe the script isn't something that should be made in the current market context, as we've been seeing over the past few years. A certain film, that got made in 2015 may not have been made in 2011. So we think about it from that perspective as well. But most importantly, we look at the writing itself. Is the writer someone beyond the script, someone we feel that has the potential to move beyond? I think that often in this industry we tend to say a specific kind of writer can only write in one particular genre, but we also look at that. We often read multiple spec scripts of a writer before we take them on. So I think one of the most important things you can do is work on your spec work, which is writing scripts and honing your skills and making sure that even when you feel your script might be 90% of the way there, and you're thinking, oh, you know what, once a producer's on board or once an actor's interested, I'll make it better. No, make it the best you can before you show it to anyone, because you really have that one shot.
Yeah, that point I think is very adequately made. There is also, अपने काम में ये भी होता है ना कि exhaustion आ जाता है कभी. एक इंसान बैठता है अकेले में, एक ड्राफ्ट, 2 ड्राफ्ट, 3 ड्राफ्ट, 4 लोगों को दिखाया, दोस्तों को दिखाया, 5, 6, 7, 8, फिर जाके लगता है कि I know that there are problems in this script और मुझे सुधारना है. लेकिन you know what? अब भैया प्रोड्यूसर अगर हाँ बोले और कुछ पैसे आए ना, तो आगे इसको मैं बढ़ाऊँ. वहाँ जाके बहुत बार बात अटक जाती है. Because the producer will judge you based on that. कि अगर ये आपको लगता है कि काम है जो सबमिट किया जा सकता है, मतलब आपका स्टैंडर्ड जो है वो adequate नहीं है. So I would suggest, take him seriously. Make sure that that's the best work that you can do at that time. बाद में जैसे उम्र बढ़ेगी और कुछ महीने तो सुधार आएगा, लेकिन at that time you should be confident that this is the best that I can do. Okay, done. So now they have a good script. Now what do they do?
So that's when actually knowing the right people matters. You know, they've always said that the entertainment business is one business where submitting your CV doesn't always help. It always helps in that sense. You know an Anjum where you say, wow, this is the best script I've written, and please read it, or you send it to us. Everything should always be registered. I know that everyone knows that, but that's supremely important. I think sending things over email is always a very good idea to protect your interests. Studios will make you sign a release form. It's intended to protect themselves and at some level to also protect you. It's important because they also have significant legal risk if they make something with a similar idea. As I think Ronnie or Sid said yesterday, an idea cannot be copyrighted. So it's very important to remember that as well. I think once you submit your script, you will have to wait, and it's important, I think, to follow up, but to also understand that people are receiving, as we said, tons of scripts. So maybe checking in with people on a periodic basis and asking, hey, when can I check in with you on the script? Is 4 weeks okay? Is 8 weeks okay? I know at Tulsi, it takes us anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks right now to
So
go
the
through
first
scripts.
thing you're saying that there is one option is that they can submit it to an agent.
Yeah.
Okay. What if they do not want to submit to an agent? How do they go about it?
Same thing, you can submit it to a producer. So you can, you can reach
How
out
do
to a
they do
studio.
that? How
so,
do they do that?
So,
How do they do that?
So what I would suggest over there is that I would call up the studio, or I would Google the studio, and there will be submission email addresses. So I know.
मतलब उनके वेबसाइट जो होती है उसके ऊपर यूजुअली एक लिंक होता है कि फॉर स्क्रिप्ट सबमिशन क्लिक हियर, तो वहाँ क्लिक करो तो एक ईमेल खुलता है, इन विच केस देन यू नीड टू सेंड इट टू देम, दे विल टेल यू कि भैया दीज आर आवर प्रोटोकॉल्स, दीज आर आवर सॉर्ट ऑफ व्हाटएवर प्रोटेक्शन clauses like
Yeah.
release form etc. और आप सबमिट करो. Okay, go
And
on.
some of them will require you to either go in and sign a release form, some of them will send it to you. I think that anytime you're signing any contract, you should always have it reviewed by a lawyer.
Okay, I'm coming to you, Sushruth, now. Sushruth, one thing that people have been a little concerned about, and rightly so, is the release form. There is this problematic clause number 3, which operates in all release forms. UTV, Disney, Fox, Yashraj, Viacom, all these studios have that. और उसके अंदर ये लिखा जाता है कि आप जो सबमिट कर रहे हो हमारे स्क्रिप्ट, अगर ऐसी ही स्क्रिप्ट हम बाद में बनाएं तो आप हम पर दावा नहीं कर सकते. यू कैन नॉट प्रोटेस्ट, यू कैन नॉट टेक एक्शन अगेंस्ट अस, which in a way translates कि even if you were to take your script and use it, you have no business to challenge us. Now this we got checked out with several lawyers. You're aware of that. Okay? I also checked it out with the Writers Guild of America, etc. What is their position? Because वहाँ भी वो studios जो है वो ये clause आता है, वो 3 नंबर पे ही आता है उसका. What is your view about that? I mean, I want to ask you specifically, is that legally enforceable? अगर मैं छुट्टी पे जा रहा हूँ और मेरे नेबर को चाबी देके जा रहा हूँ, तो मैं क्या एक साइन कर सकता हूँ उसके साथ एक डॉक्यूमेंट जिसमें ये लिखा जाता है कि आपको मैं चाबी दे रहा हूँ और घर आप ख्याल रखिएगा अगले 2 महीने, लेकिन उस बीच में अगर आप मेरे घर से कुछ भी चुरा लो तो मैं आप पर दावा नहीं कर सकता हूँ. Isn't it tantamount to that?
Anjum, I'm loyal to the writer's cause, but what you just explained is perhaps the least charitable explanation of what that clause means. The lawyer who drafts it for the producer is not doing it with the intent that I will bludgeon the writer over the head, steal his script and run away with it. The intent with which it is written is this same idea expression dichotomy that I believe Rani Screwvala spoke about yesterday. It is entirely possible that in my stable of scripts as a producer, I have something that according to you as a writer, or perhaps according to some outsiders, is similar thematically, story-wise, character-wise to something you've written today. I cannot therefore tell you that I do not have something similar to what you're saying before I know what you're saying. Now, to get to the heart of the issue, what the producer and the writer are trading in is basically rebuttable presumption. The producer is saying
सीधी भाषा में बात करना, what is it? Rebuttable presumptions.
Okay. If I write a script, there is a rebuttable presumption that this is an original work of art made by me. Which means that until somebody else in the world proves that I have not written it, that it is not original, that it is not unique, the world accepts it as mine. However, if the producer shows that, hold on, for this script that you have written in 2016, I have something that is strikingly similar, written by another writer way back in 2009. And this is not something that's uncommon, this is something that happens on a day-to-day basis. So
Shruti, I am not denying that he may coincidentally have something which is remarkably similar. I mean, people sometimes can think of similar things.
which is why that
But you're
clause is
saying
important to that.
No, but I know. But that may be the intention. The intention is not to steal your work.
Right.
But it's allowing for the possibility that if they do that, and if it is that some unethical executive
Right.
rascal has actually stolen your script and said, "हमारे पास तो पहले से ये था,"
No, you're
then
right.
you can't take action. Of course, I can take action.
You
Why
can
can't I
take action.
Yeah.
That clause is not going to stop you.
So then, why is that clause there?
Okay. Okay. The writer-
According to me, it's legally not enforceable.
No. So, if a writer in this situation goes and sues the producer gets to say, hold on, I put in this clause 3, which says that if I make a movie that is strikingly similar to this, then you cannot sue me. To which the court will say, all right, but that is only if you show us that you in fact have something that is similar to this. Which is what I called as a rebuttable presumption. So that clause in itself, citing that clause is not enough. That clause is not a license to steal your script. That clause is basically a gateway for you to make an argument that I may have something similar, and then you show what that similar thing is to the
I'm
court.
saying, okay, so to take it further, even if that clause is not there, the producer is well within his
Absolutely.
rights. So why is that clause? It's there.
It's to intimidate.
scare the writer.
It's to intimidate.
It's to intimidate the
Yeah,
writer.
absolutely.
Know it as that.
Yeah.
It is legally unenforceable. When people came to FWA saying, and senior people, कि ये clause ऐसा है मतलब कि हमारे स्क्रिप्ट चुरा सकते हैं और लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ऐसे ये हो ही नहीं सकता. So we got it checked out. We got it checked out with senior lawyers in Hollywood through the Writers Guild of America, and they said this is absolute nonsense. हमारे client भी पूछते हैं, हम लोग कहते हैं sign कर दो because इसका कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. So I am putting it to you. Sign it. You don't mind. In fact, I'll be very happy कि हाँ देखा हमने राइटर को पहले से वार्न कर दिया. उसका कोई मतलब नहीं होता है. आप बाकायदा कोर्ट में जा सकते हो. Okay. अगर आपका माल चुराया हो तो. Okay. Let's move on now.
Sorry, I just wanted to say we have had a few FWA members approach me with this release form, and I told them exactly this. But go ahead, sign it. It's not going to change anything.
I'm telling you, I'm half a lawyer. So that ordinarily, in what form does the producer want to receive script material? Does he want full script? What do you advise if they're approaching producer directly? Should it go via a synopsis? What should be the synopsis? 1 page, 4 page, 3 page? What else should come in? ताकि they are able to read that and say yes, I want a script. पूरी script भेजते हैं तो वो 4-5 महीने तक तो उसकी बारी भी नहीं आती पढ़ने के लिए. तो we advise our members कि send something which is synoptic, something which is succinct, something which is really precise, so that they can read that and feel, yeah, this sounds like a very good story, very good plot. Let me ask for the script. Is that what you advise?
I think that's fine. I think it varies depending on the producer and the studio. If they specifically are looking for a particular genre and they know the writer's work, then of course they're open to reading a script from the get-go. But oftentimes, yes, I think a 2 to 5 page synopsis, a 1 page synopsis, a 20 page treatment, all of those things are good ways to start.
You know what our experience has been? If you're a known writer, then of course, then there's no issue at all. You can always write a letter to them saying, मेरे पास ये script है, इस genre पे है, आपको चाहिए तो बोलिएगा. And if your work is known, then in any case, the gate is open enough for them to read your script. I mean, I can do that today because I have some body of work. Vinod can do that. But the point is for a new writer, वो पूरी script भेजते हो, it takes easily करीब 2.5 से 3 घंटे पढ़ने में लग जाते हैं because it's not like a novel. So you pause, you're looking at the structure, etc. Then about an hour or so of reflection over it. मतलब आराम से तुम्हारे 5 से 6 घंटे निकल जाते हैं एक स्क्रिप्ट के पीछे. All these executives are fairly well paid, I imagine. I mean, if they're sitting here, I'm sure they'll bear me out. Okay, so their time is precious. The studio time is precious. तो स्क्रिप्ट पढ़े उसके बाद अगर मायूस हो जाएगी यार क्या बकवास है, तो उसके तो गए ना, जिंदगी के 4-5 घंटे तो चलेगी. तो इसलिए it is always better to entice them to read the script, which means they need to get an idea of the essence of that script. तो हमारा ये मशवरा है, all those people who ask me questions outside, please pay attention closely. When you write to a producer, through that link, wherever you get that link from, usually it is not difficult to get the script submission email ID. You have to send a covering note which tells them something about yourself. कि तुम कौन हो? भैया, I am a script writer. I have written 2 or 3 spec scripts. एक आध इधर उधर बात चल रही है, but today I have a script which I believe that your studio might appreciate. It is based on this genre, and there is a small concept thing. Concept thing, मगर why do you believe that this film should be made? उसकी relevance क्या है? Okay, कि ये मत लिखना कि आजकल ऐसी फिल्में चलती हैं, इसलिए मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ. Then that is not a script writer's language. That is a language of some other, craftsman or house painter or somebody who does work only के client को क्या चाहिए, blue color आजकल चलता है, आप भी लगा लीजिए, सभी लोग लगा रहे हैं. यहाँ तो script के जैसे individuality to it. So even the tone of your letter has to be that you have something which you believe is valuable without being arrogant about it. तो एक covering note जो आता है आपके बारे में और conceptually script के बारे में कि ये क्यों ये script अच्छी है, क्यों ये subject जो है script का वो अच्छा है. That. Then a 1-page synopsis, and I mean a 1-page synopsis. उसके साथ में attach, I would say about a 4-pager. You said 3 to 5.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to this really quickly. I think that it's actually, we find it very challenging for very, very good writers to often write good synopses. So we completely appreciate that that's a challenging thing to do, especially if you're more familiar and more comfortable writing in Hindi or Roman Hindi. But so that's something that I would suggest that once you do write your synopsis, whether it's 1 page, 3 pages, 5 pages, to ensure you get it proofread, other friends or fellow writers who may have read the script to get their perspective on it, because it's a very, very different form of storytelling, of course.
Yeah. So it may be difficult. I personally don't think it's terribly difficult for us writers to be able to move away from our 300-page or 120-page work and then be able to put it down in 1 page, because आपका thrust क्या है? The thrust has to come out there. That is what he will judge you by. Take what Datta is saying on board completely, and I know that I trust you agree with me that if any producer, whether it's a television producer or a channel or a studio, receives communication from a script writer, which is awful language, grammatical errors, abbreviations, punctuation ठीक से नहीं है, check नहीं किया, you're not even taking it seriously. He will not take you seriously. I will not take you seriously. If you write to me, I feel कि भैया तुमने इतनी भी मेहनत नहीं की कि भैया सही भाषा में मुझे भेजो. भैया खुद नहीं आता है अगर अंग्रेजी में तो किसी से लिखवा लो, हिंदी में भेजो. लेकिन राइटर होते हो और भाषा पे अगर आपका काबू नहीं है और भाषा की इज्जत नहीं करते हो तो वेल थैंक यू वेरी मच, आपकी इज्जत करना फिर मुश्किल हो जाता है प्रोड्यूसर के. Am I right, Kamlesh? Is that been your experience too? That it matters a lot. How is it like when you're writing to them?
True, but in TV it goes a bit differently. Most channels today have what is called a commissioning editor. So what happens is that you approach them in the channel, and you have a kind of a small pitch session where you go and actually narrate what it is.
You have to send them something in advance before you actually are called for a meeting?
Not necessarily, because see, this is something which I'm going to focus on in my session later in the day, is that unfortunately TV is more heard than read. You see? So everything depends on what that guy is going to pitch in that 10 minutes, 15 minutes window that he's getting from that script editor or the commissioning editor, and then post that, if it is of any interest and value for them, where they feel that, okay, this is something that they could look at. It is then that they ask you to send the synopsis and the 5-pager, 6-pager, whatever the concept note, and post that if they feel that, okay, this is worth considering, then they ask you to detail it and send it. So that's how invariably it happens in television. It's not that how it happens in films where.
Can I make a request to you on behalf of everyone here?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible? See, because film का थोड़ा सा एक सीधा process होता है जिसके बारे में और भी बात करें. For television, most people are not aware how does one make a breakthrough, really speaking.
Yeah, okay.
Would it be possible for you to work out something like a primer? I mean, you, Preeti, Samara, Rajesh, a primer and put it up on the website?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, for television, if you want to become a television writer, click here and let that primer come down on the FWA website, Kamlesh, which informs them, these are the things that these are the steps that you can take. And let us do the same thing also for films. Sure. Okay, and for lyrics, I mean, if Jaggi Saab is around, we can even try that.
Yeah.
So they get that clear thing. Okay. And then there can be a debate on that, and if they have particular questions like legal questions, Sushruth can come in, okay, and answer those queries. If there are other issues, okay, career issues, professional management issues, or whether an agent will pick them up or not, you can come in there. Yeah. So do we have your commitment on that? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Super.
Yeah, and Anjum, just sorry, I just thought I'll take what Sushruth was saying about this clause number 3. Sushruth, you are very well aware, I've been talking to you about it, sending certain cases to you. See, there is this new phenomena in television over the past couple of years that has been happening is, as I just said, you have a commissioning editor and whom you go and pitch and things like that. And many a times what we in the television industry honestly feel is that these commissioning editors are actually gatekeepers. Okay, their job is, okay, we are there, scripts are coming in, we'll go through it, and it's basically pad ke chhod do side. You know, you meet so that you are letting the world know that scripts are there and we are listening. 9 out of 10 times
saying they're looking for a reason to reject your script.
To a large extent.
Oh, wow.
But I believe this is the same even with some of the corporates. I was told that one of the leading corporates, I don't want to name them, is they also have a script department, and in fact in one of them a leading music director's daughter was sitting there as a script editor, and 3 months later I believe she's gone and made a music video. Now that girl sitting there is going to sit and read hundreds of scripts and synopses and one-pagers and whatever, and she's going to decide what it is, whether that studio will actually take that material or not. Okay, so to a large extent, unfortunately, my experience has been that this is a kind of a sham. Okay, there is this thing कि आप जाकर pitch करो and it is taken. In television, invariably, most of the time it is that, and I'm sure my TV colleagues here will agree, that it is that you have a personal rapport with the top boss or with the commissioning programming person whom you meet, and there is a pitch that happens and it goes through. It is very, very rare that there is somebody who's come and who's put it into that lowest kind of department in the television corporate structure, and from there it is taken up and it goes up. But the problem here in TV, unfortunately, is that because television tends to be an open-ended storytelling structure, where there is no 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 3-act structure kind of a thing, what happens is that if it's a long-running show, invariably after the 100th episode, or 3 months or 4 months, you're running short of ideas. You're running short of plot points, you're running short of what to do next. Since I've been part of the dispute settlement committee for the past so many years, the complaints that have been coming against satellite channels are amazing, and it's an eye-opener. Is that somebody has gone and pitched a story to the commissioning editor, and he or she has been told that, okay, develop this. And this gentleman or that lady sincerely goes and develops it from a 2-pager to a 20-pager. And after it has been discussed over email or even while in person, 3 months down the line, this person gets an email from the channel saying that, okay, look, thank you, it's great work, but right now it is not falling into a scheme of things. So the writer feels, okay, I tried, it didn't work, so let me try and pitch this somewhere else, or let me try and do something different. What he discovers 6 months down the line is that there is some show on air on that channel, and voila, one of these concepts of his, developed concept of his, has become a subplot in a story. It has become something else in some other show. There have been cases where 2 concepts of a writer become part of 2 subplots on an ongoing show, and that show when it started had nothing to do with these concepts. The show's initial journey, the story arc was all about something else. But after 100 episodes or after 3 months, since they're running short of ideas, you suddenly find that your concepts and your story goes there. Yeah, this is something which is happening quite often. We've also had cases where when we have at the FWA tried to call some of these corporates, where it is obvious that there is a direct linkage, there is direct contact, there has been dialogue with the channel, and then the same explanation is given that it is not part of it. 4 months down the line, a show based on the same concept, on the same plot, the same dramatic thrust, etc., comes on air, and when this person tries to go and fight, they get these huge legal documents from the legal departments, which scares and intimidates the writer. And it's so potently written that the writer decides कि इतने बड़े corporate house के साथ मैं कैसे लड़ूंगा, मैं तो बेचारा writer हूँ, मेरे में हिम्मत नहीं इनके साथ लड़ने की.
We know what should they do? Let's answer the query. What should they do in the case their work has been plagiarized in television? What should they do?
But they should take the legal route. They should come to FWA.
So you should come to FWA, approach the dispute settlement committee.
Absolutely.
Vinod, in fact, is one of the conveners of that.
The chairman, yeah.
The chairperson of that. I've never understood the distinction.
Neither have I. But that's how.
Anyway, but he's one of the leading sort of activists in dispute settlement, and consistently so, very, very strong. So we should come to them, to the DSC.
Yes. Yeah, sure, please.
Now, in a situation like this, if a writer has just gone into a room and he's pitched to a producer and he says, I have these ideas, and then the producer goes and uses them as plot points in something else, it is questionable whether that amounts to copyright infringement. Is your idea really distinct enough, unique enough? All those kind of issues are going to arise. My advice to writers would be, don't throw yourself at the mercy of that legal jargon of whether it meets or does not meet the standard of copyright infringement. There is a much lower standard that is available to you, which is known as breach of faith.
Yes.
Please use that route. Don't obsess over copyright infringement and plagiarism and all these kind of things, because these terms in law mean something a lot different than what you think they mean in ordinary parlance. They are actually a very, very high standard.
So that is breach of privilege. Privileged information.
Breach of privileged information, breach of faith. So the concept is, if I come to you and I share with you information that is confidential, known to you to be confidential, and not intended to be used by you as a producer without paying me for it. That is the relationship we have entered into. If you violate that relationship, then you have breached that implicit contract between us. That is a much stronger case. So to this end, just one short thing I would recommend, if any writer is going into a meeting like this, just drop in a quick email to the producer or to any email that you're writing, append these words that we had discussed, where you say that whatever has been discussed in this meeting dated so-and-so is discussed in privilege and is confidential information not to be shared with third parties or used without my consent. Just use those words and you'll be adequately protected.
Would you advise that? No, one second, there's a word of caution. Would you advise that? Do you feel this alienates them?
But it will alienate them. It will be very intimidating for the channel. They'll say, okay, thank you very much.
For a new writer, without a standing, professional standing, to be able to do that, it might sort of annoy. How else can you put it? Where you don't need to mention that, but it is understood that it is.
Can't we put it as a footnote to all your emails that this is privileged
Which is
information?
exactly what we discussed at the FW, that as a
Yes.
signature to your email,
Yes.
it could go. So if you're the kind of person who sends this kind of signature to every single email or most of your emails, the producer might think you're a paranoid person at the worst, but he's not going to reject you for that.
Can you draft that?
Yeah, in fact, I believe it's on the FWA website. We had drafted it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, then we need to draw attention to that and put it in the primer here and the primer there also. आप समझ रही हैं क्या कह रहे हैं? Okay, it's important for you to somewhere have that thing below all your emails. होता है ना disclaimer, बहुत सारे लोग लगाते हैं. Simply this, that whatever has been shared with you has been in good faith. Okay, and it is not to be shared without
Confidence
the
and privilege.
And it's not to be shared without the author's permission, etc. That is quite likely going to protect you. Okay, I'm going to move on very quickly now because we are, as usual, running short of time and the next session has to start. Sushruth, if you're saying that ideas cannot be copyrighted, but the expression of those ideas, the unique sort of quality that you give to that expression, if it is distinct and unique to you, then that is copyrightable, that is yours. What is an idea? What when we say idea and concept is not copyrightable, what do we mean by idea?
That's a very pertinent point because after you finish, I'd like to add to it.
Without getting into legal jargon like rebuttable presumption and all those things, suppose I have an
nice
idea.
phrase, I'm going to use it again. Rebuttable presumption.
If I have an idea that there is a guy from one family who falls in love with a girl from a rival family, that is an idea. I could express that in the form of Romeo and Juliet and you will call me William Shakespeare, or I could express it in the form of a million Hindi movies and you will call me whoever has written those
So
Hindi
put it in
movies.
story terms. It's a generic dramatic situation
A-
which can apply to a variety of stories, hundreds and millions of stories actually. Okay, just to bring one point home here. I have never failed to remind writers at workshops. Okay, there was a gentleman called Georges Polti. You heard of him? Georges Polti did a survey of all narrative literature. You must be aware of this. And he came out with this startling revelation that there were only 36 original dramatic situations in the history of literature. मतलब केवल 36 प्लॉट हैं जो ओरिजिनल है, बाकी जो भी हम लिखते हैं वो उसके डेरिवेटिव्स हैं, तब उसको तो कॉपीराइट नहीं किया जा सकता ना. जैसे शुशु कह रहे कि लव स्टोरी में कि बॉय मीट्स गर्ल, बॉय लूजेस गर्ल, बॉय गेट्स गर्ल. This is an idea which is generic, which can apply to thousands of stories. You can't say कि भैया देखो मैंने ये ट्रेलर देखा, उसमें भी ऐसे ही होता है. लड़का लड़की से प्यार करता है, फिर लड़की खो जाती है, फिर बाद में जाके लड़की उसको मिलती है बहुत सारे स्ट्रगल के बाद. तो ये तो मेरा आइडिया है. Be a little circumspect about that. And be a little humble and realistic that really thousands of people can simultaneously think of that idea.
Yeah.
It has to be a developed idea where you have a distinctive story emerging from with the characters that are unique, which are distinctive, जो आप ही ने create किए हैं. उनके जो specific situations जो आते हैं, जिसको लेके वो लड़का लड़की से प्यार करता है, किस मौके पे वो खो जाती है या दोनों अलग हो जाते हैं, क्या स्ट्रगल होती है, ये स्पेसिफिसिटी जो है वो आपकी है. ओरिजिनल ये जो आइडिया जो बोल रहे हैं कि भैया ये लव स्टोरी अबाउट स्टार क्रॉस लवर्स, आई एम सॉरी, नो कोर्ट विल स्टैंड फॉर दैट. They will throw it out in no time flat. You need to be careful about that. विनोद बेचारा मतलब यहाँ से उसका खून निकलता है ये समझाते वक्त कि भैया recognize the difference between a concept and a copyrightable story. बहुत सारे कंप्लेंट्स जो हमारे पास आती है वो कॉन्सेप्ट ये तो मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट है. अरे कॉन्सेप्ट पे कॉपीराइट नहीं होता है. 28 people can simultaneously think of this and you can do nothing about it. Recognize this. This is the nature of human creativity. We all draw from life and our lives are not that different. So ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना जरूरी है. So don't jump the gun immediately. और आगे चीखते हो और फिर DSC वापस भेज देता है तो बवाल करते हैं वो. अरे यार तो क्या यूज है यूनियन का, तो सपोर्ट ही नहीं करती है.
Absolutely. And it's quite frustrating, that you try to explain to people the difference between an idea, a concept, and a fully developed story. And this is the example that I normally do give about Romeo and Juliet. Right, so now Romeo and Juliet is also interpreted as West Side Story. Okay, it is Raj Kapoor's Bobby. It is Salman Khan's Maine Pyar Kiya. It is Rocky. It is Love Story. It is Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. It is Ras Leela. It is the same structure. It is the same story. It's the same pattern, but where it becomes distinctive is, as Anjum was saying, the way the story is unfolding and the way the character is placed in the story. That is what makes that distinction between a Bobby and a love story, a Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak and a Ras Leela.
Yeah, so be very particular about that. Because I'm sorry to rush it because they're badgering me from both sides. So I don't know where to look. I only look at you people. Okay, quickly. What does an agent do? If you were to approach an agent and if the agent were to read your work and feel, yeah, this is something which I can market. Okay, it obviously becomes their discretion because they're a professional agency. You give them a weak script, they don't want to represent you and defend you or negotiate for you. Obviously, वो बोलेगा खराब script तक क्या बोला तुमने? So if the agent accepts your script, can you tell us, and I mean this in 5 sentences, what do you do further. 5 sentences, or I'll throw you at Preeti there.
Really look at it short term and long term. Short term, can we find them opportunities, calling up the studios and executives and producers we know, if there's an opportunity for that particular script.
So do you take the script to them? To
Yes,
the studio?
we do.
So the agent, number one, accepts your script. He said, okay, let me do the rounds of studios and show it around. So he does the showing around. Okay, then next, he meaning they, the company. Okay.
To the extent that there's interest, then we will negotiate the deal for you.
You will take, of course, the client into confidence, the
Yes,
writer. कि भैया ये मुझे लग रहा है कि इतना आपका शायद होना चाहिए fees. I think I can get you this one. Is that acceptable to you? You say, yeah, I think that is fine. Go ahead and negotiate.
Do your sentences count towards my 5?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so you do that. No, I'm just trying to decodify it.
And so it's essentially negotiating their deal for them, letting the studios know that we have a great writer and a great script for them to look at, and taking it to the right studio that we think is interesting. To the extent that we think that a particular actor might be interested in it, or a particular director might be interested in it, we might go that route as well. In the long term, then we say, okay, well, what other types of writing assignments are you interested in? Are you interested in working also in television or digital or in the subscription video on demand space, which is obviously getting more and more prominent?
So your job is to, once you are confident and take them on as your client, not only will you market the script which they have given you, but you will also market them, you're saying. To bring them opportunities of things which they're good at and things which they would like to do.
Yeah,
And
it's
you do the
essentially taking a
negotiation.
long-term view on the writer's career.
Yeah. Ordinarily, see, there is this agency called Tulsi. You can, if you have cards, you can sort of throw them outside. There is also another agency called Kwan, Kwan. Look them up. They are also there. They are legitimate. They were invited here, unfortunately, because of some circumstantial thing, they were not able to come. So there are these 2 agencies which represent scriptwriters in India available. Tulsi and Kwan, look them up. Okay. So ordinarily, how much does an agent charge?
So the standard global industry commission rate is 10%. There's variances to that.
10% of their total fee.
10% of their total fees. When the writer is paid, we get paid. If the writer ends up returning their money, we end up returning our commissions.
Okay, 10%. And supposing you were to also go the legal route and engage, get out of here. Okay. You know, these are all dictators around me. I mean, I can't help it. I'd love to speak with you more.
Very quickly, I just want to state this, that what we talked about, idea, concept and the detailing of it, the same applies to non-fiction. We've had a lot of cases where people have come and said, you know, okay, this is my idea. Okay, one celebrity comes and that celebrity is cooking and that celebrity cooks his or her favorite dish and Farah ki dawat is the same. So please file a case against Farah ki dawat. Or there is somebody who comes and says कि देखो सर मैंने क्रिकेट मैच को लेके एक कॉन्सेप्ट बनाया बॉक्स क्रिकेट वही है उस पे केस करो and when we try to explain the same thing they get wild, they get angry, they are angsty, they feel 6 months of my life I wasted, but it's just 4 lines, it's just 5 lines. So the message that I want to convey here is that even when it comes to non-fiction, please detail it. The more you detail it, the steps, the actual way you envisage the program to come on air, even to the extent of detailing the set if possible, that is when you have something copyrightable, that is something where we can fight for you. Yeah.
Yo, Rahat, how does your phone's gone off? I don't know, switched on. Okay, so the screen's disappeared. Okay, last words very quickly, which will answer all these questions. Number 1, in law, likha padi is important. वर्बल मीटिंग होती है, बिल्कुल पारंपरिक रूप से हिंदुस्तान में यही फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में चलता आ रहा है कि भैया मीटिंग हो गई और एक विश्वास बन गया ना. नो, यू हैव अ मीटिंग, बाय ऑल मीन्स डिस्कस योर आइडियाज. मेरे पास कहानी है, ये जम रहा है, दैट फेलो सेज कि चाहे डायरेक्टर हो चाहे प्रोड्यूसर हो, क्या ये जम रहा है, गो बैक एंड सेंड एन ईमेल टू देम कि इट वाज वंडरफुल मीटिंग यू, बहुत अच्छा लगा और ये आइडिया जो मैंने आपको सुनाया मुझे इतना अच्छा लगा कि आपको भी पसंद आ गया, तो इस पे ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं. यू आर पुटिंग दैट आइडिया डाउन इन आइडिया मतलब द डेवलप्ड आइडिया इन द ईमेल व्हिच कैरीज दैट डिस्क्लेमर व्हिच वी विल गिव यू फ्रॉम द वेबसाइट. ये जब होता है इट एस्टैब्लिशेस द चेन ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कि हाँ वाकई ये मीटिंग हुई थी और सामने वाले ने एक्नॉलेज किया है. एक ये बात ख्याल है. दूसरा ये कह रहे हैं कि प्लेजरिज्म हो तो क्या करना चाहिए, यू शुड अप्रोच द DSC. FW has a very well developed protocol. DSC में आप जाइए, Dispute Settlement Committee, they will guide you. What we intend to have is also an advisory cell. Am I right, Kamlesh? We're doing that, right? From September. An advisory cell जहाँ एक lawyer बैठे होंगे और DSC के 2 member बैठे होंगे, वो आपको guide करेंगे कि इसका case बनता है या नहीं बनता है. Number 2. Number 3, before you sign a contract, and this I cannot emphasize enough, before you sign a contract, show it to a lawyer. आपका contract होगा 3, 4, 5, 6 लाख होगा. लॉयर आपके पास से चंद हजार रुपये लेगा उसको चेक करने के लिए, लेकिन वो चेक करके यू विल बी सेफ. लोग वो 3, 4, 5 हजार रुपये बचाने के चक्कर में अगर आप लग गए तो देयर विल बी क्लॉजेस, जैसे कल बात हुई क्रेडिट गारंटीड नहीं है भैया, अगर वो आपको कभी भी आर्बिट्रेरली फायर कर सकते हैं, विच इज कॉपीराइट उनका हो जाता है. ये सारे जो क्लॉजेस है ना, उसके अंदर आप फंस जाओगे बुरी तरीके से. Umpteen cases come to us and to me also personally from ex students कि सर वो अभी स्क्रिप्ट उन्होंने मेरे को फायर कर दिया और मेरी स्क्रिप्ट रखी. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देखा, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में देखा क्लियरली लिखा कि ये हो सकता है, तो फिर काहे को साइन किया? नहीं सर उस टाइम पे तो मिल रहा था जॉब, तो मैंने कहा कि बड़े उत्साह में मैंने साइन कर दिया. यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. कल जो मैंने कहा, यू हैव टू वैल्यू योर ओन वर्क, दैट इट इज अ फेयर एक्सचेंज टेकिंग प्लेस. ही इज नॉट एम्प्लॉइंग यू, वो आपको नौकरी नहीं दे रहा है, वो आप पर एहसान नहीं कर रहा है. जितनी जरूरत आपको लगता है कि आपको उनकी है, उससे ज्यादा जरूरत उनको आपकी है. Raj, what is your problem? What do you think I'm doing? These are questions which I'm answering. Will you allow me to conduct this in my way? Raj, instead of coming here and standing on my bloody shoulder. Okay, when employed as an in-house writer, the employment contract contains the clause that all stories developed during the tenure of employment belong to the company. Is this clause legally enforceable? This can only come from one of our students. Yeah? Because itne detail mein ho jaya. I need to get this clarified because the copyright law is a little ambiguous about this. About if you are employed, matlab you are on salary with a studio or a production house, and as an employee you are brainstorming, developing ideas, writing script. The employment contract says that in our employ, whatever you develop, then that belongs to us. The ownership is ours. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, but also
It is true. It is 100% enforceable because you are an employee.
Is it a rebuttable presumption?
It is not a rebuttable presumption. The law will ask, were you under a contract of service or a contract for service? There's a difference between that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if I have written a script and I go to a producer likes it and I assign it to him for a sum of money, that script is mine, will continue to be mine, I will always be the author. But if I'm working in a production company and I'm writing scripts for that production firm, then I'm no different from a person who's working in an ad agency coming up with jingles for a company. I'm not the owner of that jingle. If I write something like Ye Dil Mange More, I don't own it. I'm not assigning it to Pepsi. It belongs to Pepsi. I've done it under a contract for him. I'm giving him a service for which he's paying me a salary. So you can't have it both ways. Either you have to be outside and say I will assign it to you, and then you continue to acknowledge me as the author. I have the right, I have the copyright which I'm assigning to you for the purposes of making a film in the Hindi language. Fine.
So
that is
what
one.
you're saying, this is important, so I'm going to sort of labor the point a little bit, Preeti, just a minute. That the entire script you might develop on a salary of, let's say, 40,000 rupees per month if some young person goes out there, and in 3 months you develop the script. So for 1,20,000 which you've been paid as salary, the entire script belongs to that fellow. You don't have the right to ask for a writing fee or negotiate separately on an independent contract. Is that what you're saying? All you have is the right to authorship. So therefore the royalties will come to you because you have the right to authorship.
Exactly.
But the writing fee, the fee to assign this is not there because it's pre-assigned, you're saying.
It is pre-assigned. There is a difference in copyright law between an author and a first owner. I can be the author, but I may not be the first owner of the
No, I'm
work.
talking about first ownership. Authorship, I know, is आप लिखते हो चाहे employment में हो चाहे कैसे भी हो, the authorship is yours. So the royalties which will come in will be yours permanently. Permanently meaning until the law allows, which is 60 years after your death. Your heirs will supposed to get it. But you're saying the first ownership, there is no assignment fee.
There is no assignment. There can only be an assignment if I own something. If I don't own it, I can't assign it to you.
Yeah, but I'm not, anyway, I don't know.
So I think what you should do in that
I
instance
don't know, I
is
think this is contestable. I mean, I feel this has to be sort of...
So what you should do in this...
Because my interpretation was different.
Anjum, what you should do in this instance is, before you're signing the contract, if you are going to be writing feature film scripts, you should essentially say that this compensation is going to be used as a part of the total compensation of the script. Some of that will be deferred if the script is actually ever greenlit or made into production. Right, so you
If
should
you can
that
negotiate
upfront.
something like that, then yeah,
You must,
that's
because
excellent.
otherwise,
Ajit, try to do that. Okay, let's speak later. Okay, last question by Mr. K.V. John, which says that he has signed a contract with a producer who wants to make a Hindi film script. I mean, he wants to make a Hindi film out of that. Fair enough. But the contract also has clauses which says that all the language rights are being hereby assigned to the producer, so he can exploit them as he wishes. Is this the done thing? This is standard industry practice, and I think it's a viable practice. Because he is in the best position right now, unless you're like a big writer like Salim Javed. The producer is in the best position to be able to give rights for remake, to get the best business possible out of it in terms of the other exploitation which takes place of your script. But because you remain the author, you continue to get royalty from every monetization that he does. मतलब हिंदी फिल्म तो बन गई, थिएटर में रिलीज हुई, थिएटर में बहुत सारे पैसे कमाए, उसके आपको कुछ रॉयल्टी नहीं मिलती है, कुछ कमीशन नहीं मिलेगा। जो आपने लिखा है कि जो फी ली थी वो बस वहाँ तक सीमित है। लेकिन जैसे ही वो थिएटर के बाहर जाता है, चाहे सैटेलाइट पर हो, मोबाइल पर हो, इंटरनेट पर हो, कहीं भी हो, या उसका अडेप्टेशन होता है, उसकी मर्चेंडाइजिंग होती है, उसका लैंग्वेज राइट्स बेचे जाते हैं, कहीं भी जहाँ से थिएटर के बाहर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन पर अगर उसको पैसा मिलता है, उसमें से रॉयल्टी का हिस्सा आपका कानूनन बनता है। So that remains yours, but you have to allow the contract to assign him the rights ordinarily is what I would say. Unless you are really in a position to bargain by saying, मैं नहीं दूंगा बाकी language rights, it's likely that they will not accept this script.
So just one thing to add here, we've been successfully negotiating for a lot of writers something known as a right of first refusal. So we say that the producer does have the right to turn this movie into to make a sequel, a prequel, a remake, a different language, but you will give me as the writer the right of first refusal to author that second product. So if you're going to be making a sequel of my movie, you make it. But I have to be the writer. You have to offer me to be the writer. And producers are agreeing to this. And if you don't make me the writer, then you have to pay me a certain fee to allow somebody else to write it and give me credit in that second work, saying that this is based on a story and characters created by whoever was the first guy.
That's actually the second part I am completely accepting. It is by law that it has to be said based on an original script by them, based on characters created by the original work. Plus, वो जो भी वहाँ से वो sequel का जो पैसा आता है, उसके अंदर से आपको royalty मिलेगी because it is based on your original work. But I don't think it is fair, okay, to insist to the producer कि भैया sequel भी नहीं लिखूंगा. You might be a very difficult writer, you might be an extremely indisciplined fellow, and मार तोड़ के editing में उसने बचा लिया है, okay, किसी भी तरीके से या और कुछ वगैरह rewriting करवा दो. Then you insist, and the producer gets stuck. भैया, therefore I have to sort of offer it to you.
If it's an unfair clause in the favor of my client, I don't mind.
I'm saying it is no.
And my producers are giving it to us.
No. Okay, good for you, bully for you if they're doing that. I personally don't recommend that it be done. If you're doing good work in the first thing, the natural choice is, you know the character.
So the issue
I mean,
there.
Himanshu Sharma will write Tanu weds Manu returns 17 times. You know, for
The
17th
issue-
because he's doing that work.
Anjum, the
Dewey
issue-
will write Piku number 21.
The issue there is that the writer if the writer created the original material, he or she should be able to write the sequel. It might be that the producer doesn't want to pay the writer that fee. So the writer should absolutely be given that that first opportunity.
Anju, just before we wind up, Sushruth, I want you to just in very short, just explain to our members here and all the people here that what are those two clauses that as writers we have to be very, very particular and careful about, especially in television, because all these studios, all these corporates, now that they know that the law has got amended and there is going to be royalty at some point of time that the writer is going to get, they are trying myriad ways, different ways of wording a contract in such a way that it becomes more of an employment and the word assignment is being stuck off somewhere. Yeah? So can we just very quickly tell them what it is?
So there's two clauses. The first clause is the assignment clause that you mentioned. In the place of an assignment, if you see something known as services, that you're being paid for your services, then that's an immediate red flag. You should not sign a contract like that. Show it to a lawyer immediately, because what you're doing is not a service, what you're doing is an assignment. In many cases, there are fake recitals put into an agreement that the writer has met the producer and the writer will now begin writing, when in fact what is happening, admittedly, is that a complete script has been assigned. So false recitals are being put in to create a false history which will hurt you as a writer later on. That's clause number one. The second clause that's generally always troublesome is the termination clause. What happens if relations between the producer and the writer sour halfway through the production of the film? in the first iteration of a producer's draft, typically he's going to insist that I can fire you halfway through the movie. Not only will I not pay you the rest of the money, you will return me the monies that I have already paid you. Not only will you get your script back, but I will retain the script and I will decide at my discretion whether or not I want to even give you credit for this. You have to take a red line through that entire contract, through that entire clause, and redraft that whole thing. And even producers know that that's going to be redrafted. For the last 6-7 contracts that I've negotiated, none of the producers were even surprised that we redlined those clauses.
So the main thing is simple, you are creating intellectual property when you write. Regardless of whether the idea came from the director, the producer, or it came from yourself. When you write a script, you are creating property, like building a house. Then you are assigning the right for that property to be used to make a film or a television serial to the producer. You are assigning that. You're giving permission. That is the law. This is not arrogant language. This is the law. So the tone of the contract has to be that you are being paid a fee for assigning your rights, not because you've been asked to write and give your services as a writer. Okay? So that is what we need to be careful about. Kehne ka matlab simple yahi hai ki unfortunately the law has entered into our work. It has entered into our partnerships with producers. So we need to be legally sound. Do not sign without showing it to Sushrut or any other lawyer that you know who specializes in IP. That, okay? I think I've answered most of your questions here. If there are any further questions, you can always write to FWA and FWA will be very happy to respond to that. So, word of deep thanks to all three of you for coming here and giving of your time to our friends here. And there is a gift for you. You know what, I'm beginning to feel a little resentful. The moderator does also a lot of work, but he never gets a gift. Only the guests are given it.
Back at the FWA, you will get a gift. Thank you very much. Please don't go anywhere. The next session will start in 2 minutes, as soon as we've done a photo op.
What up, buddy? Yeah?